Hi everybody, it's Alex and Coco here. Thank you so much for all the support that you've been giving us this week. And hopefully in our next match, a lot of you will come out and watch.
Yeah, thank you guys for all the support. Super happy to be playing with Alex, and hope you guys can keep supporting us. And we don't like Team Coachella, so pick a new
Okay,
name.
so another name maybe. Another
Yeah.
name. Okay. Bye.
Alexandra Eala just faced Coco Gauff at Roland Garros. And instead of being bitter about the loss, she did something that shocked everyone. The Filipino tennis star didn't just congratulate Coco. She went full fangirl mode and praised her opponent in a way that has the tennis world buzzing. This response is so refreshing, it might just restore your faith in sportsmanship. Before we get into Alex's incredible reaction, drop a comment. Who's your favorite up-and-coming tennis player right now? Because after hearing what Alex Eala said about Coco Gauff, you might have a new name to add to that list. Alright, so let's talk about what just happened at Roland Garros. Because this is one of those rare sports moments that actually makes you feel good about competition. Alexandra Eala, the rising Filipino tennis star, just went up against Coco Gauff, one of the biggest names in women's tennis right now. And spoiler alert, Coco won. But here's where the story gets interesting. Instead of doing the typical post-match interview where players give generic answers about fighting hard and learning from the experience, Alex Eala came out swinging with nothing but genuine praise and admiration for Coco. And honestly, the authenticity of it all is so refreshing that it deserves way more attention than it's getting. Let's set the scene here. Roland Garros, one of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, the clay court championship that separates pretenders from contenders. This is where tennis legends are made. This is where careers are defined. And for young players like Alex Eala, getting the opportunity to compete on this stage against established stars like Coco Gauff is massive. It's the kind of experience that can either break you or push you to the next level. And based on Alex's reaction, she clearly chose the latter. The match itself was exactly what you'd expect when a rising talent faces an established star. Coco brought her A game, showcasing the skills that made her a Grand Slam champion and one of the most exciting players on tour. Her power, her court coverage, her mental toughness, all of it was on full display. Alex fought hard, competed at a high level, but ultimately Coco's experience and current form were too much to overcome. On paper, it's just another win for Coco Gauff. But what happened after the match is what makes this story special. Because instead of making excuses or dwelling on the loss, Alex Eala did something that seems to be increasingly rare in professional sports. She showed genuine class and sportsmanship. The post-match interaction between these two players was captured on video. And watching it is like a breath of fresh air in a sports world that's often dominated by trash talk, pettiness, and ego-driven behavior. In the video, you can see both Alex and Coco standing together, clearly comfortable with each other, sharing a moment that goes beyond just competitors on opposite sides of the net. Alex isn't putting on a fake smile or going through the motions of being polite. She's genuinely happy to be there, genuinely appreciative of the opportunity to compete against Coco, and genuinely excited about what they're building together in terms of growing the sport. The two of them thanked fans for the support they've been receiving throughout the week. And here's what's cool about it. They're not just thanking people for supporting them individually. They're thanking fans for supporting both of them, for appreciating good tennis regardless of who wins. That's a level of perspective that a lot of professional athletes struggle to maintain when they're in the heat of competition. Coco, being the gracious champion she is, expressed how happy she was to be playing with Alex and encouraged fans to keep supporting both of them. But Alex's energy in that moment is what really stands out. She's not sulking, she's not withdrawn. She's right there with Coco, matching her enthusiasm, showing zero signs of resentment or disappointment. That takes serious maturity, especially for a young player who's still establishing herself on the professional circuit. And then came the moment that perfectly captures their dynamic. They started joking about needing a team name. Someone suggested Team Coachella, and both of them immediately shut it down with laughter. The easy banter, the genuine friendship, the ability to share a lighthearted moment right after competing against each other, that's what sports should be about. That's the kind of rivalry and relationship that makes tennis better. Now, let's talk about why Alex's reaction matters so much, because it's not just about being a good sport. It's about understanding what success actually looks like in professional tennis. Alex could have walked away from that match focusing on what went wrong, replaying her mistakes, dwelling on the loss. And sure, she'll do that work with her coaches behind the scenes. But publicly, she chose to focus on the positive, the experience gained, the opportunity earned, and the respect established between two talented players. That mindset is exactly what separates players who have long, successful careers from players who flame out after a few years. Because here's the reality of professional tennis. You're going to lose. A lot. Even the greatest players of all time lose hundreds of matches throughout their careers. The difference between players who bounce back and players who get stuck is how they process those losses. Do you let them destroy your confidence? Or do you extract the lessons and move forward? Alex is clearly choosing the latter approach. What's also notable about Alex's reaction is how it contrasts with some of the pettiness we've seen from other players in women's tennis recently. And we don't even need to name names because you already know who we're talking about. The players who can't handle when someone else gets attention. The players who make excuses after every loss. The players who subtly try to diminish their opponent's achievements. Alex Eala is showing everyone how it should be done. And she's doing it at an age where most people are still figuring out basic life skills. Alex is representing the Philippines on the global tennis stage, and she's doing it with a level of grace that makes her country proud. Filipino tennis fans have been waiting for a player who can compete at the highest levels of the sport, and Alex is delivering. But beyond just the on-court performance, she's representing with class and professionalism that reflects well on her entire nation. That matters more than a lot of people realize. The relationship between Alex and Coco also speaks to something important about the current generation of tennis players. They're not treating each other as enemies. They're recognizing that they can be fierce competitors on the court while also supporting each other's growth and success off the court. They understand that women's tennis does better when there are multiple stars, multiple storylines, multiple players that fans can rally behind. A rising tide lifts all boats, and both Alex and Coco seem to understand that principle. Coco's willingness to engage with Alex in such a genuine way also says a lot about where she is in her career. Coco has nothing to prove at this point. She's a Grand Slam champion. She's achieved things that most players only dream about. She could easily adopt the attitude of, "I'm too important to waste time with players ranked below me," but she doesn't. She treats Alex with respect, acknowledges her talent, and supports her development. That's champion behavior that goes beyond just winning matches. For Alex, having someone like Coco show her that respect and friendship has to be incredibly valuable. Tennis is a brutal sport mentally. You're out there alone. No teammates to lean on during tough moments. No one to share the pressure with. Having peers who you can talk to, learn from, and build genuine friendships with makes the grind of professional tennis more bearable. Alex is smart enough to recognize that and embrace it. The fact that they were joking around about team names shows how comfortable they are with each other. That kind of easy rapport doesn't develop overnight. It comes from mutual respect, shared experiences, and genuine appreciation for what each player brings to the sport. They're not forcing a friendship for the cameras. They're not putting on an act. This is real, and that authenticity is what makes it so compelling to watch. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Some people might look at Alex's positive attitude and accuse her of being soft or not competitive enough. Those people would be completely wrong. You don't get to compete at Roland Garros without being fiercely competitive. You don't represent your country at the highest levels of international tennis without having serious drive and determination. Alex's ability to be gracious in defeat doesn't mean she lacks killer instinct. It means she has perspective, emotional intelligence, and the maturity to separate competition from personal animosity. The best competitors in any sport understand this distinction. They can battle with everything they have during competition, and then shake hands and move on afterward. That's not weakness, that's strength. It takes way more mental fortitude to control your emotions, accept defeat gracefully, and maintain positive relationships than it does to be bitter and resentful. What Alex is doing by praising Coco so openly is also smart from a strategic standpoint. She's aligning herself with one of the biggest stars in tennis. She's showing that she belongs in these conversations, that she can compete at this level, and that she has the personality and character to be a star herself. Fans who love Coco will naturally become interested in Alex because of their friendship. That's just good brand building, whether Alex is consciously thinking about it that way or not. The tennis world needs more moments like this. We need more players who can compete fiercely and then immediately switch to being supportive and friendly. We need more examples of what healthy rivalry looks like. Because when players respect each other and genuinely want each other to succeed, it elevates the entire sport. It makes matches more enjoyable to watch because you can appreciate both players instead of feeling like you have to hate one to support the other. Alex's journey in tennis is still being written. She's young, she's talented, and she's clearly got the right mindset to have a long, successful career. The experience of playing against Coco at Roland Garros is going to pay dividends down the road. She's seen up close what championship-level tennis looks like. She's felt the pressure of competing on one of the sport's biggest stages. She's learned lessons that you simply cannot learn any other way. And she's done it all while maintaining her character and values. Filipino tennis fans have every reason to be excited about what Alexandra Eala is building. She's not just a talented player. She's a complete package. The skills are there, the work ethic is there, the mental approach is there, and perhaps most importantly, the character is there. She represents the Philippines with pride and class every time she steps on the court. And that's exactly the kind of ambassador any country would want for their sport. Coco Gauff continues to show why she's one of the most beloved players in tennis. Her talent is undeniable, but it's her personality and how she treats others that really sets her apart. She could easily adopt a diva mentality. She's earned the right through her accomplishments, but instead, she chooses to be approachable, supportive, and genuine with everyone from superstars to up-and-coming players like Alex. That's leadership that the sport desperately needs. The interaction between these two players after their Roland Garros match should be shown to young athletes everywhere as an example of how to compete with class. You can want to win more than anything. You can be devastated when you lose. But you can also recognize that your opponent is a human being deserving of respect, that you can learn from them, and that maintaining relationships is more important than protecting your ego. Social media reactions to the video of Alex and Coco together have been overwhelmingly positive. Tennis fans are starving for this kind of authentic content. They want to see the human side of players. They want to know that the people they're supporting are good people, not just good athletes. Alex and Coco delivered exactly that, and fans are responding with enthusiasm and appreciation. The joking about team names, the casual conversation, the obvious comfort level between them, all of it contributes to making them more relatable and likable. These aren't robots programmed to hit tennis balls. These are young women navigating the pressures of professional sports while trying to maintain friendships and perspective. That's a story fans can connect with on a personal level. So there you have it. Alexandra Eala proving that you can be competitive and classy at the same time. What did you think of her reaction to losing to Coco Gauff? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look at genuine sportsmanship in tennis, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you next time.